I'm Curtis.
I'm Loretta.
Together we are the folk duo Curtis and Loretta. Now I suggest that you out there do what I have learned to do for many years and intently listen to the great truths that Loretta is about to impart to you. And this is all very, very helpful information.
It is. What we're doing today, this is part 2 of our little video series, Tips on How to Make Your Own Recording. And you can look up part 1 on our YouTube channel. And in part 1, we covered how to prepare, how to go into the studio and actually record your songs. And in part 2 today, we're going to cover post-production stuff. And in part 3, we'll be doing covering how to promote your album to fans, to media, and radio. So now in part 1, we went through all that, and we've got all your songs recorded and mixed. Now what do? After the recording and mixing, your recording engineer or a mastering house is going to take your songs and do the mastering on them. And what does that include, Curtis?
Well, a mastering is a very mysterious, necessary thing, but some of it entails, cutting off all the really high notes and all the really low notes and kind of compressing them into something that won't totally freak out people's music playing machines.
Yeah.
How's that for science?
Yeah. So you can have our recording engineer did that for us, Doug Lohman of Armadillo Sound. But some people take their thing after it's recorded and do it at a mastering house. So either way. And at that point, you also want to embed the metadata into each track. And this is basically a lot of info that identifies you and your songs. And metadata is going to be used later for digital distribution and radio airplay. So it's very important to get that on there. And so what is metadata? It includes all this information such as your artist, your band name, song titles and lengths, your track numbers, which is your orders of your songs, and who wrote each song, the genre of your music, your BMI or ASCAP affiliation if you have one, barcode, and ISRC numbers. So now what is all that stuff? And a lot of it's self-explanatory. I mean, we know who we are, our band name, Curtis and Loretta. We know the names of the songs.
To her, it's self-explanatory.
Well, we know the basic stuff. But beyond that, I want to just talk about a couple things. BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC are 3 different organizations that musicians can join. They can register for free online. And what those organizations do is protect your rights. Say if somebody else records your song and claims it's theirs, put their name on it, they will go to bat for you and fight for your rights and prove that it's your song. BMI is mostly for country, roots, folk type music. And ASCAP is more pop or rock musicians that join that one. And CSAC, I'm not sure. That's a third one I'm not real familiar with. But Curtis and I are registered with BMI, so that's a good thing to do. And actually, you also need a barcode, and you know what barcodes are. They're on all products and stores. And if you're going to distribute your songs digitally or sell in a retail setting in a store, you have to have a barcode. But if you're only going to sell your CDs like at your own concerts, which a lot of people do, you don't really need a barcode. So what we did was we got one online for $19.95. It's a one-time fee for this barcode, and they email it to you. And it's a very dependable website. We've ordered from them before. It's called indierec.com, INDIEREC.com. And ISRC numbers. Now, what is that? It stands for International Standard Recording Code. And you're going to need this if you're going to distribute your songs digitally. It's required. And we paid a one-time fee of $95. And this is good like for the rest of our lives, for all the songs we ever record. We ordered this code number on usisrc.org. They send you information about how to create these numbers for your songs.
And believe me, the international part is good because I'm sure many of you know this. You'll be shocked your whole life that people from all kinds of little countries all over the world will email you and tell you that they heard your recording. So it's good to have it.
Yeah, people from all over the world are listening to all these digital platforms. So you have to do this. So you create these ISRC codes, and that's how you're going to get paid. That's part of your metadata, and that's how you're going to get paid for digital distribution. And another thing, of course, you have to do is artwork for your album, and you have to decide what all you're going to have in there. Of course, if you're only doing digital, all you need really is a cover, like would look like the cover of a CD, like a photo or artwork, and the name of your band and song. But if you're going to do a physical disc, you need all the artwork in there. So, of course, you need like the booklet that goes inside on the disc itself, the tray card on the back, and decide whether you want to use photos or artwork. Curtis and I used artwork on our last one, and we had pictures inside. We used to always put our picture on the front, and we decided not to.
We ran out of lovey-dovey poses.
We decided not to do that anymore, so we went with artwork instead. And of course, you're going to want to include the names of the songs, the lengths of the songs, production credits and stuff. And of course, the more pages you have in this booklet, the more it's going to cost to get printed. So that's always a factor in deciding what you want to include in your artwork. We worked with this wonderful graphic artist, Jeannie Bullard. And the more detailed instructions you can send your graphic artist and the more text and stuff you can have typed out for them and the photos cropped and everything, it's going to be less work for them and less money for you to pay them. So, and of course, you can do this yourself if you have the programs, but it's just a little bit beyond me.
So you have to figure in the price of the artwork. It's like, this is one reason I've noticed that folk musicians, unlike the Beatles, do their white album first. Yeah.
Yeah, black and white, right? Just very simple, right? And then you can copyright your songs at copyright.gov on their website. Okay, so now, how do you get physical copies of your disc made? If you're going to get physical copies, you have to find a place to get them made. And there are a lot of places online. There's disc makers, all kinds of places that you send them off to. Upload your tracks and then they ship you your CDs. But we really like to deal with a local company. So we've always used the ads group. It's out in Golden Valley. It's just a Minneapolis suburb. And we like it that we can go pick them up in person. If there happens to be any problem ever, you can bring them back. You don't have to ship them back and forth. And so the first thing you would do is call that company and get a contact person. You always want to talk to the same person that knows your project. And it's so helpful if you can call or email that person and they help you out with all your questions.
And you may, feel, well, I really can't afford to go through a company. But we've been playing for over 40 years and doing folk festivals and gigs and trading CDs with people. And you may want to try and make them yourself. You can do that and print your little covers. But we find that a lot of those just don't play on everybody's machine. And really, if you research it, the cost of having a company produce them for you may be much less than you might think it would be.
So check all that out.
It's a good way to go if you can.
Yeah, exactly. So you get your contact person and then you get a price quote from them. And so what your contact person is going to want to know is the total number of tracks you'll have on your CD, how many pages will be in your CD booklet, and whether you want a standard plastic jewel case or the newer cardboard type, and whether you want them shrink wrapped. So that's all going to factor into the price. And then how do you get the music to them? You get your contact person is going to give you very specific instructions how to get on their website and upload all the tracks. And our sound person actually did this for us, which was great. And all the metadata was on there and everything. And then getting the artwork to the production company, our graphic artist communicated directly with our contact at the ads group. And she found out exactly what format they needed, what size and everything, and uploaded it to the website. And the barcode will already be a part of that artwork, so that'll be on there. And it usually takes at least 2 weeks to get your CDs, maybe longer. So just plan ahead for that if you've got a CD release concert planned. And so now digital distribution would be your next step. And the easiest way to do that we found is to sign up with a company that distributes to all the digital platforms for you. And many musicians, including us, use CD Baby. You can look them up at cdbaby.com. And they charge a real minimal fee to upload your album. It's $4.99. And same price, if you're going to do just a single. And that's their standard distribution charge. They have a higher level if they want something fancier, but we always go with the standard price. And so what are you going to send to them? You're going to send them your music tracks, and they'll show you how to do all this on their website. You upload your tracks in either WAV or MP3 format. Of course, the name of the artist, album, song titles, writer, song lengths. And if any of your songs are not originals, they're going to want proof that they're public domain or that you have the license to record them. And your metadata, including your ISRC numbers that we got earlier, and your barcode. Now, there's a note here, too. If you're only doing digital and not doing a physical CD, there's no need to spend the money ahead of time to get your own ISRC codes and barcode because CD Baby will include them for you in that $4.99 charge. But we paid extra because we needed to get them on the physical CD. So now what happens next with CD Baby? Well, after you've uploaded everything and you paid your fee, then it takes about a month for them. What's called a review period. And they're looking at your songs, your music to make sure they really are your songs. You're not stealing them from somebody else or anything. And then they start sending them all to these digital platforms. And if you have songs that aren't your own, if they're cover songs, you can check with Harry Fox. It's a company that distributes the rights for songs that aren't yours. It's at harryfox.com. And then after this is all reviewed and everything, CD Baby sends the tracks to all these digital platforms for streaming and download. And these include over 150 places they send it to. it includes Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, TikTok, Deezer, all kinds of places. And if there's any of those you don't want to deal with, say, I don't want to be on TikTok, well, then you can opt out of that certain one on their website. And in about a month, then your music is going to show up on all these platforms. And if you have a CD release date for your album, say I want it to be released November 1st, then CD Baby will make sure it doesn't show up anywhere before that date. And then, after all this is done, they will send you money for the streams and downloads you've gotten.
Ooh.
But here's the catch. It's not going to be a lot.
Not much.
CD Baby keeps a small percentage, of course, for the work they're doing. I think it's like 9%. It's very minimal. But what you get paid for a stream from Spotify, for example, is like maybe a tenth of a cent, a hundredth of a cent. It's just a tiny, like 0.001. It's just tiny. If somebody downloads a track or album, you get a little bit more. But for streams, it's hardly anything. But your music is out there, and you want people to listen to it. So
yeah, and that's a big deal, really. Just getting it out there. This phenomena happens, which I love. It's like you travel, play music in a state you've never played in a little town you've never played in, and you play, and somebody there in the front row is singing the words of your songs along with you. So your music has traveled. So this helps with that. Yeah,
it's out there. Yeah, and you can see on some of these sites like Spotify, you can see where they've been listening from, and it's like pretty amazing all over the country. So,
yes, indeed.
And be sure too to get your songs, your album on your own website, of course. And so on our website, people can listen to our songs and also download from there. So we can make money from downloads, and also from our website, they can order physical CDs.
In physical CDs, I don't know if they're doomed to obscurity or they'll be around, but people still like to hold something in their hands, and so you might just sell them at your concerts, but and people like to have something autographed too. And
that's always fun.
We're still into it.
Yeah, and there's one other thing I wanted to mention is SoundCloud, another site you can sign up for free. It's free for artists to register on the basic level, and also free for people to listen to. You upload your songs. You won't get paid there, but people can stream your music there for free. And I wanted to mention to the Minnesota State Arts Board, which has been very good to us, this whole project that we did making our own CD, which is called Lift the World, which was released in October 2022, because I don't know when you'll be watching this video. It was a project that was backed by a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board called Creative Support for Individuals. And it's been very helpful to us in making this CD, and we'd like to thank the Minnesota State Arts Board for all your support of us and all kinds of artists.
And the National Endowment for the Arts.
Yes, the funding.
Them out too,
the funding came from Minnesota State Arts Board and also National Endowment for the Arts. And we're going to have a little song to end up this little video.
Do one for you youngsters. Now, we use a lot of instruments at our shows. Loretta's main instrument is a very large Celtic harp. And we use mandocellos and mandolins and banjos and guitars. And I'm going to use this little National Steel ukulele. And this last album was about reminiscence, glimpses of our of the pandemic, the way we viewed it, both good and bad. There was really scary things, and there were some really wonderful things that happened too, and a lot of time. And so we and I hope that you're all well, or if you're not, you're getting better very quickly. And God bless anybody you lost during the pandemic. We lost friends, but one thing I can tell you, for those of you who love dogs, this song is for you. Dogs adored the pandemic. Right. It's like it was a dream for them. Their people came home and closed the door and stayed for 2 years. Right. It's like, it doesn't get better for a dog. So.
Yeah, we have a little dog, and she spent hours in my lap. So this is on our CD, which is called Lift the World, which you can check out on our website, curtisandloretta.com, and all those digital platforms that we talked about.
I've always felt sorry for people that didn't have some kind of a pet during their life. This is called Get a Hound. If you'll be staying home for about 2 years, if all your kids are all alone, quick get yourself to the shelter or a store and bring a dog back home. I feel sorry for those that don't have one, or maybe even two. For everyone alive deserves true love, even politicians do. Love at first sight, unconditional love, companions brave and true, buddies for life with a waggly tail, loyal and true blue. Well, maybe you can't see or hear or taste or have no sense of smell. A dog can help you with these things, then save you when you fall into that well. Or maybe you need a security guard, or a nurse when you fall ill, or a psychiatrist there beside your own couch, and a dog will not send you a bill. Love at first sight, unconditional love, companions brave and true, buddies for life with a waggly tail, loyal and true. Take him for a walk now. Well, there's dachshunds and Dalmatians, Chihuahuas and Great Danes, Scooby-Doo, Pluto and Snoopy. They're bulldogs for Churchill and corgis for the Queen, and lucky mongrel mutt that looks like me. From hundreds of breeds you can select, or mongrels, mutts, or mix. All the ladies cry out cute when you take walks in the park. Yes, a dog can really help you pick up
Sticks.
sticks, yeah. There's a lassie and a Benji and a Rin Tin Tin waiting for you at the pound, at the animal shelter or a good pet store. Go get yourself a hound. Go get yourself a hound.
Go get yourself a hound.
Go
Arf, arf, arf. Get
a hound.
Thank
Get
you.
a hound.
Thanks everybody for listening today. Check out our new album that's on Lift the World at curtisandloretta.com, and we'll be having part 3 of these videos of how to make your own recording coming up shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.